Hello once again, everybody. So, according to my last YouTube poll, I asked what you wanted to see. And a lot of votes came in for talking about musical ideas or stories. So I thought, now's the time to do another Let's Talk About It video. The original post was here. It says, what inspires you to be creative in these perilous times? And before I get to that and explain exactly what my motivations are, I would just like to point out that I've done a little intro, outro type musical segment. I've discovered something extremely... I can't believe I didn't try this before. But apparently with this stuff that I use, the Boss stuff, I guess probably all works like this. I think if you have a Boss device, like a guitar processor, or maybe even others, Helix or something, and it has the ability to plug in a 1/4-inch cable, so that you can use like an expression pedal or another foot switch or something. Just get a piano sustain pedal. Plug that in and use that, and it's like a very soft switch too. So I'm doing that now, and I've got a patch set up so that when I push on this thing, it goes to my distortion preset. So no matter what I've got on there, it toggles between the lead sound and whatever sound I've got. So really awesome discovery. I can't believe that I didn't try this before. I just happened to be looking through some forums or something. Anyway, back on topic. Yeah, what inspires me to stay creative or be creative in these perilous times? My motivations are sometimes simple, sometimes complicated. So, guitar-wise, it's about sounds or just feelings or the mood or the vibe, or I get an idea of something I want to hear or try. So, like most recently I've been exploring the idea of using this pedal to switch between my lead and my more of my jazz box, kind of a Rhodes piano-ish kind of a thing, and just back and forth. So I got like kind of a little fusion quartet thing going but with just a trio setup, right? And it gives the illusion that I've got more than one instrument kind of going. So there's that, right? I've also got like a little synthesizer that's blended in with the guitar sound. So it's like an analog oscillator type synth. And you can hear that when I've got it up high, because I've got on the lower strings, I have it tuned down, the volume tuned off almost all the way. So you get the bottom end of the guitar. And a little bit of the synth stuff for the higher notes. But, anyway, back on topic here. So, that whole process comes from the idea of trying to achieve some kind of sound I hear in my head, or some kind of open an avenue to some sort of creative process that's new, or not even new, but like reinventing it or something. So, I keep thinking, it's not even like I feel the desire to do it so much as like, oh, I better clock in and be creative today or something. It's just kind of like I've been doing it for so long that it's like hardwired into who I am. So, like I started playing guitar a lot, like when I was little. And so like, it would be like, okay, I got to practice today. I've always been kind of disciplined like that. Like I want to learn. Like I'm like, I have to learn all of the solos off of this rock record or something, So I've like always been able to be disciplined like that with my own time management. So like for me it was like, okay, I want to play video games, but I also want to do this. So one or the other, which one comes first? And that's kind of, they all that happened at the same time, right? Video games and guitar happened at the same time, or music, So it was like, and if I was playing video games or something, I was like listening to music too, like from a different player or something, So it's kind of like, I guess on some level, the music or the guitar kind of has that video game controller function for me. It is maybe not so much for other people, but because of my situation. So it's kind of like a compulsion. Like I'm just kind of like, well, I feel the desire to pick up the guitar, and then it's not so much like be creative, do something creative. It's kind of more like, okay, I'm playing now. What am I doing? Am I gonna, what's the purpose of what I'm doing? And then like I start thinking about the chords, the harmony, the texture, the melodies, the rhythms, the purpose of what I'm doing. Like, am I working on a solo piece? Am I working on something that would turn into like a different kind of a band piece? And is it trio, quartet, or what? So and then from there, sometimes I'll do ideas through a process, and it'll be like, I learn it one way, then I transcribe my own stuff a different way and like learn it fingerstyle. And then it becomes, okay, that's cool. Now let's put this sound on it instead of that sound. So, and then it turns into a totally different piece. And then I start thinking, okay, that'd be cool. So let's double that melody in the bass at that, and not on that part or something. Or, oh, I want to put sax on this, or whatever. Oh, the drums need to follow that part of the melody. And it just kind of orchestrates itself a lot of times, these tunes, these pieces. But like I kind of start, I guess, from the baseline idea of me and the guitar. I don't know a looper, no anything. It's just like, what ideas do I have? How do I play these ideas right now? Not fire up the DAW and record something. How do I do it right now? I've always kind of worked at it that way. So, typically for me, it's like, it goes like fingerstyle or two-handed polyphonic styles happening, or blend the two together with what I'm physically doing. But the techniques are just kind of like the overarching set of directions of how to best accomplish playing the ideas that I'm trying to work with. So like if I know they're all contained to one area of the fretboard, like that's like 5 frets, I might automatically go to fingerstyle playing, and then that starts to inform other ideas. If anything starts to drift outside of that 5 fret zone, it starts to turn into 2 hands or any number of other possibilities, and then it becomes like rearranging it on the fretboard, and then you find an extra chord or extra voicing, then it changes again. So for me, it's like part creativity, part analytics, if that makes any sense. Like music or the guitar is in general. Like a lot of other people probably approach arranging or writing on this instrument, and sometimes I do too, just to get away from the guitar maybe. But I always just go back to the guitar because I understand the math of the fretboard is so much better. Or even not so much better. It's just like I'm just more fluid with it. So yeah, I mean, like, I guess really the question becomes at some point is like, what is creativity? And I think the illusion of creativity sometimes is that some people are just like really creative, but really what it is like they just come up with ideas out of the blue, like they're, But really what it is like memory management. So like you invent, you come up with all kinds of licks and ideas and progressions and little fragments of things. You put it in the file manager up here, and then you're like, pull that out at the right moment, you know? And that goes the same for improvisation. Because really composing is creativity and composing is improvisation. It's just not instantaneous, although it can be. So I kind of think of it like that. It's also experience. Creativity is experience. So like if you just have all these experiences and knowledge of things, it's just easy to then fall into, well, what, like for example, what have I done before? Okay, I've done that before. Let's not do those 3 things. Let's do those other 2 things that I've not wanted to apply to anything in particular. There, bam. And it's, again, through a process of elimination, you start to, the creativity starts to create itself through basically back-ending all of the experience that you have previously. Yeah, I mean, so it's part analytics, and it's part just out of the blue stuff. A lot of times creativity, though, if we're being honest, it comes from other people. You get inspired by some other musicians or composers. And that's just the way that it is. Every single amazing player or composer that's ever lived has gone through and applies the same thinking. Like, they're inspired by whomever it is. I mean, if you go research it, you'll find it for yourself. You know, who was Mozart's favorite blah de blah, who was, you know. So that's just a part of the whole process, I guess, is just like approaching it from a humanistic perspective. You know, like, it's easy in the modern day way of looking at the world to go crazy. I think everybody's starting to kind of feel that with the internet and the technology of things ever increasing with its grasp and complexity. It's like the average person is kind of being relegated to this cog in the wheel role, even more than it ever has been, because the machines are the only ones that have the mass capability of processing all the daily information. We don't have the ability to do that as individuals. We're in like a little silo. We can only get so much information. You can't even, as a musician or guitar player, you couldn't even watch all of the guitar content, and it would take you all day, every day, like that, like just, and you barely get any sleep, and then you probably still wouldn't be able to have enough time to do it on most days. So like, there's just too much information and stuff going on for one person to process. So you have to be picky and choosy. And then you have to kind of like figure out where your niche is, or like how you fit into the puzzle. But that's a whole other thing. But yeah, so if you're going to say like what motivates me to be creative, it's all of that. And maybe like also just kind of like a childlike thing of like putting Legos together, like, oh, this goes to this and that goes to this, and then you put it together and you stand back and you look and you have a castle or something, you know. So it's kind of like that. It's not any more complicated than that. Like, I just like the construction of stuff, I guess, a lot of time, and the execution of it. So, like, a lot of times, like, I just woodshed tunes for a day or two. Even if I've got it down, I just want to, like, fully explore all of the biophysical movements and ideas coalescing together until they all form like this, until the soup simmers long enough that it's all the flavors mixed together nicely and everything's like a natural flow, as opposed to like, here's the chart, come up with the best solo ever now, instant. And that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. That's that kind of thinking is like, the only thing you can do is basically go on what you already know. You don't have time to like woodshed some original flowing ideas or anything. So you do need a little bit of time to let the creativity coalesce and create its own experience. And then you're kind of like taking that and then sharing it with everybody else, right? Like you're sharing your research with them. And the research may be like, for me, all this polyphonic guitar stuff, right? Like on the you're gonna hear on the end, like I do this thing with this repeated notes, this like a rhythmic thing, with the right hand. So that's just something I just kind of discovered today, a couple hours earlier. So so it's kind of like sharing those moments or those feelings or those collective rhythms over time, multiplied or divided by the song that you're playing. And that's kind of another thing that creativity is just, it's like an equation that you put together and you share with everybody. So, anyway, hope you've gotten something out of this little one-sided talk. But, I might try to do some more of these. I don't know. But yeah, stick around. I'm about to play a longer version of the intro sequence that you just saw. As always, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, look down in the description. I got all kinds of stuff and links. I just released a new album. It's worth checking out. Alan Holdsworth's former bass player, Jimmy Haslip, is on it. And he may be doing another track that we're going to maybe do some stuff with. Possibly a video. I don't know really yet. But, yeah. There you go.